Have you ever wondered why certain doors close in your life? Why that relationship ended abruptly, that dream job vanished, or that project you invested so much in simply didn't work out? Today, I want to share with you a transformative perspective that changed my life, coming from one of the most brilliant psychologists of all time, Carl Jung. What many call rejection, Jung understood as something much deeper, a divine redirection, a movement of the universe, of your unconscious, guiding you toward where you truly need to be. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you looked back and realized that what hurt so much to lose ended up being the best thing that could have happened to you? That no you received wasn't the end of your path, but the beginning of a new direction. Carl Jung, this brilliant Swiss psychiatrist, developed a unique understanding of the human psyche. He firmly believed that our unconscious isn't simply a repository of forgotten memories and repressed desires, but a wise guide constantly communicating what we truly need. When we experience rejection, loss, or failure, our first reaction is usually to resist. We cling to what we thought we wanted, ignoring the signals our unconscious is sending us. Jung would say, this resistance only prolongs our suffering because we're fighting against our own nature, against our inner truth. Jung's wisdom lies in recognizing that every apparent rejection has a purpose. It's not a punishment, not a sign of your lack of worth. It's a redirection toward your true path. It's as if the universe, your collective unconscious as Jung called it, is telling you, no, not that way. I have something better for you. Remember that relationship you longed for that ended abruptly? Or that job that seemed perfect, but you never got despite your efforts? In that moment, the pain may have blinded you. You wondered what you did wrong, why you weren't enough. But Jung invites us to see beyond the immediate pain, to understand that there is a greater intelligence working in our favor. Jung spoke extensively about synchronicity, those seemingly casual events that appear to be significantly connected. When one door closes and another opens shortly after, it's not mere coincidence. It's your psyche, connected to something larger, guiding you to where you need to be. Divine redirection, as Jung understood it, isn't just consolation for rejection. It's an invitation to trust in a greater process, to let go of control and allow your true path to reveal itself. But to accept this invitation, we must first learn to listen. Listen not just with our ears, but with our whole being. Jung believed our connection to the unconscious manifests in many ways: dreams, intuitions, synchronicities, and even through our emotional reactions. When you feel that discomfort in your chest, that inexplicable restlessness, your unconscious is speaking to you. And when you experience a rejection that resonates deeply, that hurts more than seems reasonable, it's a sign that there's something important you need to learn. But here's the challenge. In a world that constantly pushes us to move forward, to ignore our emotions and to get over it, taking the time to listen becomes a revolutionary act. Jung invites us to stop, to reflect, to ask ourselves, what is this rejection trying to tell me? Where is it redirecting me? One of the most powerful concepts Jung left us is individuation, that process by which we become complete and integrated beings. Individuation is not a straight path. It's full of turns, setbacks, and yes, rejections. Each rejection is an opportunity to recalibrate, to ensure we're on the right path toward our true essence. Imagine for a moment that you're in a maze. From your perspective, each wall you encounter seems like a frustrating obstacle. But from above, those walls are precisely what defines the path to the center. Without them, there would be no direction, no purpose. The rejections in our lives are like those walls. They show us where we shouldn't go so we can find our true path. Jung deeply understood that our psyche operates through polarities and compensations. When we cling too much to one path, one identity, one relationship, our unconscious will compensate by pushing us in the opposite direction, not out of cruelty, but for balance, so we can discover who we truly are beyond our attachments and expectations. This understanding completely transforms our relationship with rejection. It's no longer something we should fear or avoid at all costs. It's an integral part of our growth, a tool for our personal evolution. Jung would say that each rejection brings us a little closer to our authenticity, to that version of ourselves that is in harmony with our deepest being. Think about the most authentic and fulfilled people you know. I guarantee they've experienced significant rejections on their path. The difference is that, instead of getting trapped in the narrative of failure or insufficiency, they intuitively understood they were being redirected. They trusted that process, even when they couldn't clearly see where it was leading them. Carl Jung himself experienced profound rejections in his professional life. His separation from Freud, his mentor, was painful and challenging. But it was precisely that rejection that allowed him to develop his own revolutionary theories about the collective unconscious, archetypes, and synchronicity. If he had remained in Freud's shadow, the world would have lost one of the most brilliant and original minds in modern psychology. What about you? Can you identify moments in your life where a rejection led you to something better? Perhaps you didn't see it at the time. Perhaps even now you're in the middle of that painful redirection process. But I invite you to keep an open mind to the possibility that there's a wisdom working in your favor, even when you can't see it. Jung taught us that the unconscious is always one step ahead of our consciousness. It knows our deepest needs, our true potential, before we recognize it ourselves. When it redirects us through an apparent rejection, it's acting from a more complete knowledge of who we are and who we can become. This doesn't mean rejection doesn't hurt. Of course it hurts. Jung never suggested we should deny our emotions or pretend we're not affected. On the contrary, he firmly believed in the importance of feeling fully, of recognizing and honoring our pain, because it's through that deep feeling that we come to understand the message being transmitted to us. The difference lies in how we interpret that pain. Do we see it as proof of our inadequacy, or as a sign that we're being guided toward something more aligned with our true nature? The perspective we choose will make all the difference in how we navigate life's inevitable rejections. Jung also warned us about the dangers of ignoring these redirections. When we persistently resist the messages from our unconscious, when we insist on paths that aren't truly ours, we pay a price. That price can manifest as anxiety, depression, or a persistent feeling of emptiness and disconnection. Our inner being doesn't easily give up when it comes to guiding us toward our truth. I remember the story of a woman who came for consultation, devastated because her partner of years had suddenly left her. She felt completely lost, as if the ground beneath her feet had disappeared. But as we explored her story, she began to recognize the signs she had been ignoring. The constant feeling of having to diminish herself to fit into the relationship. The recurring dreams of being trapped. The inner voice whispering that she deserved more. What initially seemed like cruel rejection revealed itself as compassionate redirection. Her unconscious had been trying to guide her toward freedom, toward a life where she could fully express herself. And when she didn't listen to the whispers, the message had to become louder, more impossible to ignore. Jung firmly believed in the inherent wisdom of our psyche. We aren't passive victims of random circumstances, but active participants in a process of discovery and growth. Each rejection, each loss, each apparent failure is part of that process, gradually guiding us toward a more complete understanding of who we truly are. This understanding doesn't eliminate the pain of rejection, but it transforms it. It gives it purpose, meaning. It's no longer simply something we must endure, but an experience we can integrate into our personal story, a necessary chapter in our journey toward wholeness. But how do we concretely apply this wisdom in our daily lives? How do we transform our relationship with rejection to see it as the divine redirection that Jung suggests it is? The first step is to allow ourselves to feel fully, not to dodge the pain, not to rush to get over it. Jung greatly valued the process of feeling our emotions, of recognizing them as valuable messengers. When you experience rejection, give yourself permission to feel the sadness, the confusion, even the anger. These emotions are part of your humanity and contain important information. Once you've honored your emotions, The next step is reflection. Jung was a great advocate of deep introspection. Ask yourself, what is this rejection showing me about myself? What beliefs, patterns, or attachments is it challenging? Where might this apparent rejection be guiding me? Jung also emphasized the importance of dreams as windows to our unconscious. After a significant rejection, pay special attention to your dreams. They may contain symbols and messages that help you understand the deeper purpose of what you're experiencing. Another crucial step is letting go. Jung understood that much of our suffering comes from resisting the natural flow of life, from clinging to what we believe we should have or be. Rejection invites us to practice the art of letting go, of trusting that what is meant for us will not pass us by. Finally, Jung would encourage us to maintain an attitude of curiosity and openness. Instead of closing ourselves off for fear of future rejections, we can choose to see each experience as a learning opportunity, each redirection as a step toward our true nature. This perspective isn't easy to maintain, especially in moments of acute pain, but it's deeply liberating. It allows us to move through life with more grace and less resistance, trusting that even our most difficult experiences have a purpose in the grand scheme of our lives. Jung reminds us that we are constantly evolving, constantly in the process of becoming who we truly are. And in that process, rejection isn't our enemy, but our ally. It's not a door closing, but an indicator showing us where to head next. Imagine if you could look at every rejection in your life from this perspective. Imagine the freedom you would feel, the confidence you would develop in your own path. No more constantly questioning yourself, no more feeling inadequate or abandoned by the universe. Instead, a deep certainty that you are being guided, even through pain, to where you need to be. Jung offers us a vision that transcends our conventional understanding of success and failure. In his framework, there are no true failures, only redirections. No endings, only new beginnings. No wrong paths, only different routes to self-discovery. This vision invites us to a radically different relationship with life itself. We're no longer trying to control every outcome, to avoid every possible rejection. Instead, we're participating in an ongoing dialogue with our unconscious, trusting its guidance even when it leads us down unexpected paths. Synchronicity, that phenomenon Jung described as meaningful coincidences, plays a crucial role here. How many times have you experienced that, after a painful rejection, a new opportunity unexpectedly appears, one you would never have found otherwise? These aren't mere coincidences, according to Jung. They're manifestations of the deep intertwining between our internal and external worlds, evidence that we are part of an interconnected universe that responds to our deepest needs. Jung called this the unus mundus, the unified world where psyche and matter are fundamentally connected. From this perspective, the rejection you experience isn't an isolated, meaningless event, but part of a larger pattern designed to guide you toward your wholeness. This understanding offers us comfort in difficult times, but it also challenges us. It challenges us to abandon the victim narrative, to stop blaming ourselves or others for the rejections we experience. It invites us to a posture of humility and curiosity, recognizing that there are forces working in our favor that we don't always fully understand. Jung believed that each of us has a unique destiny, a specific contribution to make to the world. The process of discovering and manifesting that destiny is rarely straightforward. It includes detours, dead ends, and yes, rejections. But each of these apparent obstacles brings us closer to our true essence, removing what isn't authentically ours to reveal what is. Think of the sculpting process. The artist doesn't add material to create the statue. They remove what doesn't belong, revealing the form that was always there, waiting to be discovered. That's how rejection works in our lives, removing what isn't truly ours, gradually revealing our authentic form. One of Jung's most powerful concepts is the shadow, those parts of ourselves we've repressed or denied. Often rejection puts us in contact with our shadow, showing us aspects of ourselves we've been avoiding seeing. Although this encounter can be painful, it's essential for our growth and our completeness. For example, If we repeatedly experience rejection in relationships, it could be revealing deeply rooted insecurities we haven't wanted to face. If we're constantly overlooked for promotions or opportunities, it could be pointing to limiting beliefs about our own worth that we've buried in our shadow. Jung teaches us that shadow integration is a crucial step on our path to individuation, and often it's through rejection that our shadow is most clearly revealed to us, offering the opportunity to recognize, accept, and integrate it. This perspective gives us a new way to respond when doors close in our lives. Instead of asking, "What did I do wrong?" or "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What is this showing me about myself? And where is this apparent rejection guiding me?" These questions transform rejection from something that happens to us to something we actively participate in, from an experience of victimization to one of empowerment and discovery. Jung reminds us that we are more than our conscious egos, more than our social identities, more than our achievements and failures. We are deeply complex beings with vast internal worlds and potential that often surpasses what we can consciously imagine. Rejection, seen correctly, is an invitation to explore those depths, to expand our understanding of who we truly are. This vision not only transforms our relationship with rejection, but with life itself. We're no longer simply trying to accumulate successes and avoid failures. We're embarked on a journey of self-discovery and self-realization, where every experience, especially the difficult ones, has purpose and value. Imagine living from this understanding. Imagine facing a rejection and, after the initial pain, feeling a spark of curiosity. What is this showing me? Where is it guiding me? Imagine the freedom of not having to understand everything immediately, of trusting that the meaning will reveal itself with time, of knowing you're part of a larger process that sometimes operates in mysterious ways, but always in your favor. This is the gift Jung offers us, a new relationship with rejection, with pain, with uncertainty. A relationship based not on fear, but on trust. Not on resistance, but on openness. Not on despair, but on hope that everything we experience, even the most difficult, is designed to guide us toward our deepest truth. Rejection, seen through Jung's eyes, isn't a condemnation, but a divine redirection. It's not the end, but a new beginning. It's not about what we lose, but about what we're destined to find. The next time you face rejection, after allowing yourself to feel the pain, ask yourself, what door is this closure trying to open for me? What am I being invited to discover? And then, with courage and curiosity, take the next step on your path, trusting that you're being guided exactly where you need to be. Because as Jung deeply understood, the universe doesn't reject you, it redirects you. It doesn't abandon you, it guides you. It doesn't punish you, it teaches you. And in that process, it's helping you become who you're truly meant to be. If this message has touched something within you, if you find yourself in the midst of what seems like devastating rejection, remember Jung's words. I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become. Rejection may be part of your story, but it doesn't define your destiny. You do, with every choice you make, with every meaning you create, with every step you take toward your deepest truth. This is a journey we all share, though each path is unique. And on that journey, you're not alone. You're connected with everyone who has struggled, doubted, fallen, and then risen to discover that what seemed like their greatest loss was, in reality, their most valuable redirection. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who might be facing rejection right now. Sometimes, all we need to transform our perspective is to know we're not alone, that others have walked this path before and found meaning and purpose even in their most painful experiences. And remember, in the wise words of Carl Jung, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. It's not rejection, it's divine redirection, and it's taking you exactly where you need to be. I invite you to leave in the comments what divine redirection you've experienced in your life, what apparent rejection later became the best thing that could have happened to you. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if this message has helped you, Share it with those it might benefit. Subscribe to this channel for more deep reflections like this one, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any. Together, we're creating a community of people who are willing to look beyond appearances, to find meaning even in pain, and to trust in life's process. Remember, you're not being rejected, you're being redirected, and that's a blessing in disguise that someday you'll deeply appreciate. Thank you for being here, for your attention and your openness. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll continue exploring Jung's profound teachings and how they can transform our everyday lives. Until then, trust your path and remember that every closure is really a new opening.